final segment of Tech Pulse. Now we've been talking about this AT&T. You know, I've been saying it a little while here. AT&T is talking about what's next in wireless. I mean, what's next? You know, what else could there be? And AT&T is giving us that little teaser. So what are they talking about? Well, according to a report by Computer World, that very question is what AT&T intends to answer coming up. Apparently they're having a big announcement coming up. According to Computer World, they have a big announcement coming up on July 16th. They're saying, and their announcement is entitled, "What's Next in Wireless?" Now, AT&T is planning a July 6th announcement to divulge what's next in wireless, which could be news regarding a rollout of faster LTE advanced network technology and other innovations. AT&T promoted the coming announcement today in the form of a teaser email to reporters, and AT&T spokeswoman refused to divulge any information about the announcement, but did say it is not an event being held in a city like some recent smartphone launches. In recent weeks, Computer World has asked AT&T spokesman Mark Siegel repeatedly in emails about the carrier's plans for LTE Advanced and received no response. The company's silence in this matter and other insights have led some analysts to suggest that AT&T is about to launch its LTE Advanced capabilities with a fuller rollout coming in 2014. Now, LTE, or Long-Term Evolution Advanced, usually doubles download speeds of LTE by using a variety of network technologies in conjunction with LTE Advanced ready smartphones and other devices. Now, carriers are rolling out LTE in the U.S., with Verizon leading the way with more than 500 cities and AT&T with about 300. Now, Verizon pegs its LTE downloads on an average of 5 megabits to 12 megabits per second, although AT&T has bragged of higher average speeds with some exceptions, citing various independent tests and so forth. The teaser sent to reporters mentions those tests and other performance metrics. Now, AT&T is really, in my opinion, they're really trying to garner interest in what's, if this is about the LTE speeds and stuff like that. This is not something that is going to shock many people, but what I think this announcement is all about is just AT&T trying to garner interest in their announcement. Coming up, they're trying to get a lot of press. They're trying to get a lot of people talking about it, because here we're talking about it here on Tech Pulse, and other tech organizations are talking about it, trying to get interest in their announcement coming up, because, they want as much press towards their event as possible, but I don't see it as any earth-shattering announcement coming up. I don't see this being any kind of oh man, they have this type of big announcement. I don't see anything like that coming from this sort of announcement. I don't see AT&T rolling out with any announcement that's going to shock anybody. I just see this as them trying to garner more press towards the event. But hey, the 16th of July is right around the corner. That's next week sometime. So we're going to find out one way or the other, what this announcement is. Like, today is the 11th, so we're talking Tuesday of next week is when this announcement is supposed to come out. So we're going to find out if this thing is actually real. Now, speaking of something that is actually real, is this new type of metal. Because before, many of you here heard about 3D printing for the first time right here on Tech Pulse. You didn't know about 3D printing before, but you heard about it here on Tech Pulse a while ago. And now, at that time, the materials that were used in 3D printing was mostly plastics, mostly like clay type materials and stuff like that, or any kind of material that was moldable and stuff like that. We didn't really have metal too much in that in that process of printing 3D? Well, that is said to going to change, because it's not quite advanced as the Terminator 2. Remember that Terminator that had the liquid they could morph, and they were all melty and it could turn solid and conform to any shape. It may not be that advanced, but a way of 3D printing liquid metal could offer a new range of flexible electronics. An alloy of metal, gallium and iridium that is liquid at room temperature forms a thin skin when exposed to air, which is strong enough to hold the liquid shape. Now, Michael Dickey of North Carolina State University in Raleigh and colleagues put the alloy in a syringe and was able to squeeze out wires about centimeter tall that stood vertical despite the liquid's center. Now, the fact that they are liquid, that this metal is liquid, could mean that you could surround them with another material like rubber to make metallic structures that could stretch and deform, says Dickey. Now, this would be useful for creating bendable electronics. The team has also created towers of liquid metal droplets, all held together by the skin, illustrating how the metal can form 3D structures. Now, they're saying it should be easy to swap the syringe for a nozzle of a 3D printer, potentially letting you print plastic objects containing metal wiring with a single device. You could include this as a functional ink that you could use with a 3D printer. And unlike metals such as liquid mercury, the metal is non-toxic, so it should be safe for commercial use, but the liquid metal won't come cheap. It's roughly 100 times the cost of 3D printing plastic that's used right now. But that is definitely a breakthrough in, we're going to show you this metal being squeezed out and show you, because this is definitely of good potential. If this metal can become popular enough to where the price is reduced, imagine now, this is the next step to being able to print circuit boards full, being able to print headphones full, being able to print all kind of things, right? This is the next step to what we're talking about when we're talking about being able to print products right out of a printer and being able to take it and use it. Not just being able to print a wrench or something like that, but being able to print a product that works, like a camera, or being able to print a electronic component or something like that. This is where these steps start. But being able to print metal utensils with this non-toxic metal material, being able to print forks or chinaware, dinnerware, being able to print pots and pans, this is where these things come from, because now not only can you design with designs your spoons or your silverware, you can make one-of-a-kind cutlery because you now have metal to be able to do it. So let me show you the this metal in action, especially how it's able to okay, hold on. Especially how it's able to there we go. Especially how it's able to stand up and be able to dry quickly, because that is what we're talking about. That's the point of this metal, being able to be printed and dry quickly. So this is how we're going to be able to get those materials. So let me show you what they came up with, and just the exciting material that can be used now in 3D printers. Yes, the cost isn't there, but neither was the cost of 3D printers just a couple years ago. Cost of 3D printers were well beyond consumer use, but now 3D printing has come down to the consumer level. And now this new material that has come to the consumer level is something, let me just blow this up because, we want people to be able to see what we're talking about here. Let's do this, okay. Yeah, now that looks all right, cool. So just look at this material, and here we go. See, this is the material being printed right here. Just little droplets, of metal, of liquid metal, being able to fit different sizes. being able to be dropped on top of each other without falling over because of that thin skin that dries immediately as this thing is printed out. So imagine being able to print various. I mean, look at they took a dead a bug, and look at that the antennas they're putting on this bug right here. You see now this is just a test to show you how well and how fast this thing dries. So definitely, definitely this is something that's going to be used in 3D printing. And this liquid metal, as you might now, this looks like mercury. This looks like something that's in a thermometer, but this is non-toxic. This is not metal that's toxic, so you have to touch it with rubber gloves and all this type of stuff. No, this metal is safe to the touch. So definitely this being used, see, it was used right there to connect two circuits right there. So definitely this is something that I can see being able to be used in 3D printing, being able to print those kitchen utensils, being able to print cutlery, being able to print metal wrenches, metal tools, being able to print pots and pans. This is where it starts. I'm telling you, 3D printing is where technology is going, and we have to be ready for it, because if you're not, you're going to get left behind. And that is why you watch Tech Pulse, so you can be in step with the technological world while being one step ahead of everybody else. I'm telling you, man, when you go to school, remember, let me ask Xavier. Xavier, when you go to school, all these things you're hearing about here on Tech Pulse, do you think your friends know about these things coming out? Even in your neighborhood, do your friends know about all of this technology, all this tech?
No.
And why do you think they don't know? I mean, is it in mainstream media? What's happening?
They don't know about it because they don't watch Tech Pulse.
There you go. They don't know because they don't watch Tech Pulse. So if they want to be in the know, what do they have to do, Jaden? What they got to do?
Watch Tech Pulse.
There you go. So that's all there is to it. Well, we're at the end of another Tech Pulse. You got all of those news, you got all of those reviews, and you got the only place that has all of the information you're looking for in the technological world. So we want to thank everybody for joining us here on Tech Pulse, for bringing this show to a close right here today. And we'll see you tomorrow with another exciting Tech Pulse. So until then, ouch!